Good evening and welcome to the report with me, John Rees. In Pakistan, talks between government and protest groups have broken down as opposition leader Imran Khan pulled out of the discussions with Prime Minister Nawaz Sherrif. The crisis talks came after demonstrators occupied a high-security red zone in front of the Parliament in Islamabad. MPs were forced to scuttle out the back door of the Parliament building. Both Imran Khan and fellow opposition leader Cleric Tahir-ul Qadri continue to demand the resignation of the Prime Minister. Nathaniel Amos Sansom has more.
The standoff between the Pakistani government and anti-government protesters continues, as Imran Khan's PTI pulls out of government negotiations. Both sides agreed to try and end the political turmoil through dialogues. However, they could not come to an agreement on the opposition's central demand.
लेकिन मैं फिर से कहता हूं बात करने का कोई फायदा नहीं जब तक नवाज शरीफ रिजाइन नहीं करता.
The government is also holding talks with PAT figures, whose leader Cleric Tahir-ul Qadri is also calling for the resignation of the government. 2 days into their occupation of the government's Red Square district in Islamabad, protesters were hopeful that eventually their demands would be met.
ये मुतालबात इंशाल्लाह जल्द जो है ना वो पूरे होंगे बहुत जल्द होंगे इंशाल्लाह ताला इसलिए कि ये झूठे हैं और झूठ जो है कितने दिन तक चलेगा.
The opposition are demanding the immediate resignation of Prime Minister Nawaz Sherrif, who they claim is guilty of corruption and electoral fraud relating to last year's landslide election. Sharif's governing Pakistan Muslim League strongly denies these claims and claim that the opposition is attempting to derail democracy. The growing protests in the Red Square have also exposed divisions between the government and the military over how to deal with the protests, with the military favouring negotiations. Some officials in the government have accused parts of the military of orchestrating the protests to weaken the civilian government. However, the military strongly denies this. But until a settlement is reached, the security and stability of one of the most populous Muslim countries in the world hangs in the balance. Nathaniel Amos Sansom, Islam Channel.
To discuss the unrest in Pakistan, we're joined by Murtaza Ali Shah, who's a journalist at GEO News, and Hamad Ali, who's a freelance journalist. Welcome to you both. So Murtaza, is Sharif on the back foot now?
Well, Nawaz Sherrif is really not on the back foot as it stands today. Initially, when the protesters came to Islamabad, Imran Khan and Dr. Tahir-ul Qadri had promised that each of them will be bringing 1 million followers. Supposedly there should have been 2 million followers gathered in Islamabad, but that promise has turned out to be a lie and a fallacy, because as it stands today, there are about 15,000 Imran Khan followers there and about 25,000 Dr. Qadri followers. So there are about 40,000 protesters in Islamabad, in a country which has a population of 182 million people. So where Dr. Tahir-ul Qadri and Imran Khan have failed, that is in terms of the numbers of people they have been able to persuade to come to the capital. Nawaz Sherrif has met the army chief. His younger brother Shahbaz Sharif, who is the Chief Minister of Punjab, he has also met the army chief. And today Nawaz Sharif actually came into the parliament and lot of, he got the unanimous support from 11 out of 12 parliamentary parties who have unanimously passed a resolution rejecting the demands made by Tahir-ul Qadri and Imran Khan. So Nawaz Sherrif today looks quite confident.
Is that the way you read it, Hamad? Because, I mean, the numbers might not have been everything that were expected, but it's a pretty kind of aggressive protest.
I think it's interesting that if it was a flop protest, that it continues to get a lot of coverage in the media. It continues to generate so much interest. And today we are also hearing that the Pakistan People's Party, which is the other opposition party, has also expressed concerns about the heavy-handed tactics that are being used by the government against protesters. And I think there are some disturbing developments that are happening today, that you have the Inspector General of Islamabad, who has been removed because it's being alleged that he refused to take part in a violent crackdown on the protesters. And these people who are there, protesting, they are not, you can't say they are the only people who are supporting some of the demands that are being put forward by the protesters. It would be safe to say that a large number of people, millions, would be behind to tackle this issue of election fraud, election rigging, which is an allegation which has been made by every single political party in Pakistan. So it's not just Imran Khan who's said that there's been election rigging. It's been said by the ruling Pakistan Muslim League Party. It's been said by the Pakistan People's Party. It's been said by other smaller parties in the country. So this is a much bigger issue about how is Pakistan going to continue with this kind of a democracy.
Well, Murtaza, I mean, this is the core of the issue: the allegations of electoral fraud on a very, very wide scale. Why aren't they being investigated by an independent commission?
Well, exactly. Election rigging is a fact, but it happened all over Pakistan. It just only did not happen in Punjab, which is the focus of Imran Khan, which is the focus of Dr. Tahir-ul Qadri, because Punjab is the power base. It is not about a principled, some sort of out of a principled position. It is all about grabbing power that is in Punjab, which is the center of, which is the power base in Pakistan. Election rigging took place in all provinces of Pakistan. Imran Khan, as a result of these elections, Imran Khan won one full province, which is the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. He has a government in that province. He does not talk about rigging in that province. Awami National Party, the leading party which has ruled there for several years, actually alleges that Taliban came to the rescue of Imran Khan, bombed them, killed a lot of their workers to rig elections in favor of Imran Khan. Nobody talks about that. In Punjab and rest of the, in Pakistan, yes, there has been rigging, but that rigging has not been engineered to disfavor Imran Khan, or kind of, it wasn't.
So why doesn't the government say, okay, let's look at it all then, let's put the whole thing in the frame?
I'm not here to advocate the government point of view, but
I'm asking you why you think it is that they aren't doing that.
The government has accepted their point of view. There have been, their election tribunals, there are working on it, looking into these allegations. But so far as it emerges, Imran Khan, when he saw that actually through these tribunals and the courts, he's not going to get the favorable results that he desires, he decided to come on the streets. And
Qadri's and Khan are a kind of alliance of opportunity, aren't they? Because, Imran Khan wants a fresh set of elections, Qadri wants a government of technocrats, so they might both want rid of Sharif, but they don't want the same things after that, do they?
Yes, so far, Tahir-ul Qadri, the cleric who came from Canada, who's also leading protests, his goals or his methods are a bit more dubious in terms of he's done this before. He's come on protests, he's going to hold revolutions, and then he goes back to Canada, and he's done this the second time. He didn't take part in the democratic process in the elections, which Imran Khan did. So there's more kind of concern amongst Democrats, among people who support democratic movement, that someone who's not elected, who lives, who's a dual national living in Canada, can come and call for a revolution or a changing of government is a bit. But in terms of the points being raised, Imran Khan went through the courts and the different process, and there was a realization that there's a lack of seriousness. He was calling for 4 constituencies where there was very more serious allegations of rigging. Of all the constituencies, he was calling that have recount in those four places, and the government was not agreeing to that. So this was a crisis which was as much engineered by the government that's currently in power as by these protesters, because only now they're kind of realizing how serious it is. And whatever the outcome of the protest is, a good thing about this is that it kind of has created an awakening in Pakistan because every election you have rigging. It's just part of the tradition, like in Afghanistan and other places. And to understand a bigger picture about what this really is like is how the outside world is looking right now at Pakistan, or how the United States policy is right now.
Do you agree with that whatever else comes of the protest, whatever the motivations of the people leading it might be, to put the spotlight on corruption is a good thing?
Look, I mean, if it was only about bringing spotlight onto corruption and to highlight, the flaws that exist in Pakistan's electoral and political system, it would be all fine. But as it stands, it is clear to a lot of democratic forces that what's happening in Islamabad, the way Tahir-ul Qadri and Imran Khan coordinated everything until this point, even till this moment. Imran Khan has today actually said that he is probably going to join Dr. Tahir-ul Qadri. The Democratic parties believe that there are some actors behind them who have brought them to Islamabad. A lot of people believe that it's what's happening in Islamabad is actually an attack on democracy in Pakistan. I mean, you know, from a country which has 182 million Pakistanis, and out of that, 40 people come and ask for the resignation of Prime Minister Nawaz Sherrif. Again, this is their democratic right. But the language Imran Khan and Qadri has used is completely violent language. They have asked, you know, used very violent language, incited hatred, incited murder of, you know, government officials, even including Prime Minister of Pakistan. So there is a desire within, you know, a lot of protesters that there should be bloodshed. I mean, there should be violence so that they could, you know, reach their end. If it was only about electoral reforms, Imran Khan would have done a lot of work within the Parliament of Pakistan to force that change. He has one province to govern where he can really make it a model province. He's not talking anything about that.
OK. Well, that wraps up our discussion on this issue, I'm afraid. But thanks to both my guests for their comments. Well, that rounds up this half of the programme. So join us after the break when we'll be discussing the plight of the Rohingya in Burma.